Is that better? Yeah? Okay. As I said, it's my pleasure tonight to be the MC on behalf of Al Boehler. I'd like to welcome you all here. It's nice to see so many familiar faces and old faces. Mature faces. How's that? We have a bit of a program for you tonight. A few surprises for Albert.
I believe it.
A few presentations. I think everybody's going to have a good time. Before we go any further, though, I'd like to introduce the head table. And if you would, please save your applause until I've completed introducing them all. On the extreme left is Albert's sister and her husband from Vancouver, Elsie and Stan Winzowski. Is that right, Elsie? Okay. Sure, go ahead, sure. Seated next to them is Albert's brother and his wife from Kamloops, Ernie and Marge Boehler. Next to them is a son of Albert's from Nanaimo, Brent Boehler. Next to Brent is another son of Albert's from Calgary. Oh, well, not really right next to Brent, but close to Brent. Albert's son and his wife, Jeff and Elaine Boehler from Calgary. The next guy will pass over you, nobody knows him. To Albert's immediate right is a cousin from Summerland. Please welcome Gladys McGilligan. We have a late arrival, a friend of the family, and I'll introduce her when she gets here, but seated next to Gladys will be a family friend, Donna Hansen from Kelowna, but I'll introduce her when she gets here. Next is a daughter and her husband from Kelowna of Albert's, Jane and Tom Smart. This is starting out real good, isn't it? And seated right here is my better half, Colette. The ladies have got the food on the way here, but just before we dig in, if you will, I'd like to thank some people in advance for tonight's celebration, I guess is a good word for it. Things like this don't happen naturally. It takes a lot of work and a lot of planning from a lot of good people. And thank goodness we've had all those good people working for us. So if you will, I'd like to thank our NFA organizing committee, without whom none of this would be possible. That committee consisted of Dave Carson, Pat Bell, Debbie Harrison, and Jerry Steele. Good stuff, people. Next was our ticket sellers, in the persons of Val Beckett, Karen Brady, Denise Morrison, Beatrice Augustini, John Devine, Wayne Dodd, and Herb Comden. Thank you to you folks. The Fitness Center tonight is providing the liquid refreshments, and our thanks to Lynn Johnson and Chris Feinstone. Behind you is Bob Lindsay from Bob's Audio Service. Bob is going to provide dinner music as well as the dance, so thank you for coming, Bob. The gentleman you see in the front with that funny black thing in front of him, of course, is our own Ron McIntyre. Ron has generously provided his equipment and his time to videotape the entire ceremonies tonight, so good stuff, guy. Thanks, Ron. you people, Albert's friends and Albert's family. Without you, of course, none of this could have been possible. So thank you for taking the time to come out and recognize Albert and to wish him a very happy retirement. And you can clap for yourselves. Last but not least, the caterers. And we would like to thank Marge Milroy, who has Myrtle in charge this evening for us. They're telling us that the catering, everything is ready, Myrtle? Okay. Thank you very much, Myrtle. And now, it is time to announce the rotation of tables. You've heard me say this before, haven't you? Albert tells me he's real hungry, so he's going to have to go first. And after that, I think what we should do is, Myrtle says about 3 tables at a time can go up. So we'll start at this table first. When they're finished, then the next.
What about us?
No, you guys go first.
We're hungry too.
So thanks very much. The head table first, and then in rotation here. And we'll see you all after dinner. By the way, if there's anybody that would like to say anything to Albert, if they can remember any good stories, if anybody can remember any good stories or any work-related events with Albert, please come and see me during dinner and we'll add you to the list.
What work?
Enjoy. Thank you. first things that an MC usually has to do. Can't hear it, Gary?
No, that again. Turn it up. I'll learn to speak up for one. Gotta get a ticket, Rick. Over here.
Is that better? That's starting to feed back now. Can you hear that?
Feedback is making me hungry.
Okay, well, the people at the back are going to have to learn how to read lips then. It's obvious.
Speak into the mic.
One of the first things that an MC is supposed to do to start the proceedings rolling is tell a joke. Well, as you know, the person that we're honoring tonight, Albert,
You be nice.
always, no, I'm going to be nice, always is ready with a joke, some better than others, some not worth repeating,
I got a joke.
some dirty. But a couple of weeks ago, he did tell me a really good joke. It's clean and it's funny. So I think instead of me telling Albert's joke, I think you should convince him to come up here and tell his own joke.
Got it twisted his arm, didn't it?
Which one?
Theater, don't tell the dog.
Do I talk? Get a box. Get a box.
I don't know what to say. Anyways, being retired now, I'm going to have lots of time to go to the movies. I got a story about a guy going to the movies. This guy buys a ticket, he goes in the hall, he walks halfway down, he sees some empty seats, he's going to sit down. Just ready to sit down, there's a guy laying on 5 seats, taking up 5 seats. So he looks at the guy and he says, "Hey, buddy," he says, "you bought one ticket." He says, "Sit up here," he says, "because you're only supposed to take up 1 seat." He says, "Make room for somebody else." Guy kind of lifts up his head and he goes, "Ah!" This guy looks at him, he says, "Geez, I don't want to deal with this weirdo." He says, "I'm going to get the usher." So he runs back there, gets the usher. The usher comes up and he sees this guy sprawled on 5 seats and he says, "Hey, buddy," he says, "you bought 1 ticket." He says, "you sit in 1 seat." The guy goes, "Ah!" The usher looks at him, he says, "I'm not dealing with this weirdo." He says, "I'm going for the cops." So he goes out, big policeman comes back in, sees this guy sprawled in 5 seats, pokes him with his nightstick and he says, "Hey, buddy," he says, "you bought 1 ticket." He says, "you sit in 1 seat." The guy goes, "Ah!" The cop says, "Now," he says, "I don't want no trouble from you." He says, "By the way," he says, "where did you come from?" The guy says, "From the balcony."
See, that was worth waiting for. Well, the first thing that I was supposed to do, Albert did for me as an MC. These other things that I have to do now, I think I can handle myself, especially at a retirement party. One of the things that, that we like to talk about are things that happen in the workplace, funny things, maybe even embarrassing things. Have I got some stories to tell you? One day Albert and I had to go to Okanagan Falls to do a job. And we get down in front of the office there, and of course, right in front of the office in Okanagan Falls is a pay station. And one of the things that Albert does, and he terms it as checking for coinage. Any payphone that he happens to be close to, he will reach into the coin return and sweep his finger around to see if some unsuspecting subscriber has left a quarter in there.
It's the only reason I could retire.
So we pull up in front of the office. The payphone is right there. Albert is doing his checking for coinage. He comes up empty. In the meantime, I've got the door open. We go into the office, and we're working there for a couple of hours. All of a sudden, a knock comes at the door. And we go to the door, and here's this fellow at the door, and he said, "Excuse me," he said, "you guys work for BC Tel?" "Yeah." "Well," he said, "I found these keys," and he pulls out the BC Tel car keys, plus an office key for every office in the Columbia area, a BCTEL credit card, which Al had left laying on the little shelf underneath the pay station. Well, Al's face got real red, and he said, "Yeah, those are my keys." So thank goodness for the honest people in Okanagan Falls, or number one, Al and I would have had a long walk home, and number two, Al would have had a tough time explaining to his boss where he left the car.
I had spare keys in my other pocket.
Sure.
Besides that, I kept all the paper ones clean.
Actually, Al has problems down in the south area. Another little story happened in Penticton. One day we were down there, and he and I were at the old Penticton office. And we'd finished our work there and got into the car. And I should mention to you, when Albert was in NFA, the company car was his car, as I'm sure Bob can attest to. Nobody touched the car.
Barry, you can vouch for that, can't you? Remember when you assigned that car to me?
Anyways, he's driving. We pull out of the parking lot and pull onto a one-way street, heading home. All of a sudden, in about a block space of time, there's a car coming towards me. Well, Albert is pretty proud of his driving expertise, and he is cursing down this guy for coming towards him on a one-way street. Until, of course, we look up and we find out it's not that guy that's going the wrong way, it's Albert. I'm sure.
Was he driving forwards or backwards?
We're not sure. Talking about Albert's driving, now that he's retired, some of you may have the opportunity to drive with Albert somewhere. And I feel that it's my place to warn you about this. I'm not saying that Albert isn't a good driver. He's a very good driver, and most certainly, if he takes you somewhere, you will get to where you're going, safe and sure. The only problem is, we're not sure how quickly you'll get there. One of the things, if you're driving with Albert, don't ask him about pertinent things, i.e. politics, religion, or his favorite topic, sex. Because the more that Albert gets fired up talking, the less pressure he exerts on the accelerator. For example, when this Meech Lake thing was going on, we were going somewhere, I got them all fired up about that, and we found ourselves flying down the highway at 20 miles an hour. So just a little tip, if you want to go anywhere with Albert and you want to get there on time, don't talk to him. Just let him drive.
Yes, I agree.
Those are the only bad stories, believe me, that I know about Albert. But I think there's some other people that are going to get up here later on and relay some little verbalities to you. I think at this time we should begin with our presentations. And first up to present, would you please welcome Dave Carson. Dave?
First of all, I'd like to thank Rick on his organization of this event. I found out 30 seconds ago I was doing this. Anyway,
If it helps you, I won't be able to reach it.
what are you doing up here anyway? This is my time. Anyway, I'm up here as a representative of the NFA Albert's baseball team, and I'd like to say a few words to Albert on behalf of the baseball team. We had numerous discussions on how we would treat Albert's retirement in light of the fact that he played on our baseball team. Now, Albert is somewhat of a legend on the baseball team. And I don't know, first of all, I guess we should define what we mean by legend. As far as we're concerned, that's someone that's been around so long that the rest of the team's forgotten all the bum plays he made. You know, in fact, I see a few legends out there. But anyway, Albert is a legend on the NFA baseball team, and one of the main reasons he's a legend on our team is the fact that he's the only person on the team that's been around longer than Rick Docking's glove. So anyway, in our discussions we decided what we would do to honor Albert. The first suggestion that came up obviously was the fact that we would retire his number. Unfortunately, everybody on the team has the same number as Albert. We retire his number and nobody else has anything to wear for the rest of the season. So what we decided we would do is we would, Albert has expressed the fact that he really liked the Coors slow pitch sweatshirts that they handed out. And if any of you have ever seen them, they have the Coors with the silver bullet package on the front of them. And we decided that we would present Albert with one of these sweatshirts. Now, my suggestion was that we change the logo on the sweatshirt. Silver bullet didn't really apply as far as Albert's age and his baseball playing ability was concerned. I wanted to put on Coors blunderbuss. But unfortunately, Molson's would have had to change their entire ad campaign. So we decided that we would leave it the way it was. So anyway, Albert, I would like to have the honor to present you with your first token of our appreciation for all your efforts on our behalf, and all I can ask is that you wear your gift in good health.
When I'm drinking beer.
Okay. There you go, sir. Okay, Albert.
No.
Should I shake the picture? Put it on, Albert. You always did before.
This is different.
Have to take your tie off, right?
Clear in here, is she?
I don't think my clothes off the clear. Your heart's still there. All right. Hey, man.
Thanks, Dave, and congratulations, Albert. And good idea, Dave. Can you hear me better like this?
Yes.
Yeah?
Very good.
Okay. That Dave is a smart guy. He should be a supervisor, you know? Next, on behalf of the Pioneers for a presentation, would you please welcome Ernie Mansuba, please. Ernie?
Thanks, Rick. Okay, on behalf of the Telephone Pioneers, I want to welcome Alan to one of this mature-looking club. And want to welcome you to life membership in the Telephone Pioneers, and also for your contribution to the Okanagan Council now and in the future. I want to present you with this plaque and a jacket.
Thanks, Ernie. Before you sit down, Al, I have a presentation for you myself. It's on behalf of a fella that couldn't make it here tonight, and he was good enough to get in touch with me and give me something that he wanted presented to you tonight. He's a guy that a lot of you out there will remember. His name is Clem Casey. And Clem did want to be here tonight sincerely, but he couldn't make it, so On his behalf, Albert, I'd like to present you with this. Now you stand there, don't move. Sorry guys.
Thank you for that, Rick.
Clem took a lot of time in wrapping this, as you can see. It was ticking when I brought it in here.
I'm afraid to look. You can all come and read it later.
Actually, I think you should read it out to the people, Al.
Well, it says official jack pole license. To whom it may concern, the holder of this license is entitled to hunt, observe, chase, photograph, or trap one of the rarest animals in the Wild West. The jackalope. That's what it is. The license is valued between 4 a.m. and 7 a.m. I ain't getting up that early. And during leap years only, during the odd months of the year, the license holder must also have an IQ of 50, but not more than 72. And have been a patient for mental health rehabilitation for at least 1 year. This license is not valued for anyone having working rent. Clem, you're a good guy. Thank you.
Actually, and Clem did say to wish you a very happy retirement, and he was sincere about that. Clem's a good guy. We have a couple of people now who would like to parlay some of Albert's experiences, if I may put it that way. So first up, would you please welcome Marianne Campbell. Marianne? John, I'm sorry.
On behalf of my dad, Bruce Campbell. He usually, every time...
She's a Campbell.
I'm a Campbell. Every time someone retires, Dad likes to present them with an old Okanagan telephone book. And we tried to get one the year that Albert started, but unfortunately he didn't have any that were made in the Stone Ages. But we came pretty close. I think Albert started in '64, and we have an Okanagan Tel directory in April '65 to present to Albert. They're secrets, and I'll never let anyone know, Albert. Okay?
Don't I get a hug at least?
Get him, John.
Sorry, John. Thank you.
Thanks, Marianne. And Marianne and John, my apologies. Marianne's married name is Marianne Anhorn. I know you as Marianne Campbell. Sorry, John. Next, there's a fellow who Albert knows quite well. As a matter of fact, he knows him well enough that he's his brother. Please welcome Ernie Boehler.
Hey!
I haven't got a whole lot to say, but the few things that I would like to say are that I really appreciate the fact that we were invited to come to this do, and we're going to enjoy ourselves. We already have. The meal was just absolutely perfect, and it's nice to see all these people out here. And when I walked in, I started thinking about all these signs up on the wall you guys got here. And boy, oh boy, you've made a whole bunch of mistakes. Because none of them are true. You know, especially these ones. Well, maybe, you know, the odd one, maybe like "we'll miss you" or something, but ladies' man and things like that. Don't believe any of it. And again, thank you very much. We really appreciate being here, and we're going to enjoy ourselves, and I hope everybody else will too. Thanks, Rick.
Thank you, Ernie. Now, I made the mistake once already tonight, and I won't do it again. I'm going to call on one of the mature faces that is here tonight. Please welcome Mr. Gordy Stoutenberg. Gord?
He can drive up there.
Thank you, Rick. I never really had the pleasure of working too closely with Al, so I don't know too much about his working experience or working habits, but one thing I did notice in his remarks tonight, he said about cleaning out that payphone slot. That's how he made his money to retire, but I want you to know that's a pile of crap. Because we noticed when Albert first moved out here from MTS, he came from some small portion of Manitoba, and when he first came out here, it didn't take us long to find out that Albert was one of the real free spenders. As a matter of fact, I think Albert, to the best of my recollection, is the only person in history that ever got compensation for falling off his wallet. We used to find, you know, after a union meeting, and union meetings in the old days used to always be on a Friday night. Local 6 liked to have them on a Friday night. It was a good excuse for all the guys to get away from their wives so they wouldn't have to go shopping on Friday night. So they'd collect off from all over the valley, and after the union meeting, most of them would head down to one of the local watering holes and take on one or two. And once, I think maybe twice, Albert showed up. In fact, I remember one night that Albert was in there, and about 10 of us were on the table. And this is back in the days when Jim Dooley was still a member of the local. In fact, he was president of the local. And we all, you know, paid our share. When it came my turn, I paid. Somebody else's turn, they paid. Everybody had their turn, and finally, the waiter brought along another tray of beer and sat it down. It was Al's turn. And he said, well, he says, I got to leave. He says, all the money I got left to my name is... when he went into a restaurant, you know, coming from this small Manitoba community, he wasn't used to these big flashy restaurants like the Capri Hotel and so forth. And he went into the Capri one night and he sat down and looked at the menu and his eyes just about popped out of his head. Some of the prices were like $2.95 for a steak and things like that. And he wasn't. So he called the waitress over and he said, tell me, is there anything on the menu other than this? He says, go back and ask the chef if he has any beans a la tata. And the waitress looked at him kind of funny, but she went away and came back a few minutes later. She said, I'm sorry, sir, but the chef says all we got is beans ta 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 ta. At any rate, Albert, I want to say that we've enjoyed a good association over the years, and I've really enjoyed your company. And I hope that you ride off into the sunset, and by sunset I mean come up to Sunset Ranch and learn to play golf, and we'll really show you a good time, okay?
I got another little story here I'd like to tell that carry on with what Gord was saying. It happens this Italian fella gets married, and of course, a year later, the first baby comes along. It's dark olive skin, curly black hair, looked just like the papa. Next year, another son. Olive skin, dark curly hair, looked just like the papa. Another year later, another baby, blue-eyed blonde. He couldn't figure out where this blue-eyed blonde come from, but he never said nothing. Faithfully, for 19 years, he looked after this gal and loved her and everything else that goes with it. She was 19, she got married, she left home. He went straight to his wife and he says, Maria, he says, isn't that blonde really mine? She says, I swear on my grandmother's grave, the girl as she is yours, the two boys, no.
Al, before you sit down, I told you all earlier that Al was full of jokes, some good, some bad, some dirty, some clean. He's told 2 good ones. But I'd like to get him to tell you the absolutely worst joke that I have ever heard in my life, and Al thinks it's funny. And I think with a little encouragement, you could get Al to tell the joke about the dog.
This is really a good story. Rick doesn't appreciate dog jokes. Anyways, it happens, this dog, he goes into this bar and he crawls up in the bar stool, the waiter comes along and he says, can I help you? Dog looks at him and says, yeah. He says, give me a Coors Light, he says, make it cold, please. Bartender looked at him, he says, hey, we don't serve dogs in here. So the dog thought he'd try once more. He says, well, he says, give me a Miller Lite then. He says, cold, please. Bartender looked at him and says, hey, I told you, we don't serve dogs in here. This is a people bar, this is not an animal bar. So the dog thought he'd try once more and he says, well, he says, give me a draft. He says, cold, please. Bartender really ticked off, so he reaches under the bar, he pulls out a gun, bang, he shot the dog in the foot. Poor old doggy goes limping out of there. 2 months later, the barroom doors slam open and here stands the dog. He's got on a 10-gallon hat, cowboy boots, 6 guns, 2 of them. He walks up to the bar, crawls up in the stool, the bartender comes along, and he says, can I help you? The dog looked at him, he says, yeah, I'm looking for the guy that shot my pa.
Isn't that absolutely the worst joke you've ever heard? He was on a roll here. I had to cut him down, you know. We have another presentation coming up right now. And if you would welcome the president of Local 16 TWU, Mr. Steve Demoskoff. Steve?
Since I've worked so hard.
Well, Albert,
This is no joke.
have you got a pen?
No.
Oh, too bad. We'll use the pencil later. On behalf of the TWU, I got a couple things for you here. This you can fill out and send in. It's some minor stuff to get some money, I guess. You don't want any money though. We also have here an honorary life membership certificate. Means you're welcome in all our meetings, as long as you're buying beer.
I heard different. I don't buy beer.
A bumper sticker for your Metropolitan.
All right. That's too big.
Now here's what we need the pen for.
Oh.
If you'd endorse this, we could all go back there and get thoroughly hammered.
Uh-oh. You can't come up with a pen.
That is for all the years of service.
Thank you, Steve.
Pen.
Thank you very much.
It's red. Thanks.
Enjoy it.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Thank you, Steve, and congratulations, Albert. Next, if you would welcome the Columbia Area General Manager, Don Hoheim. Don is going to present the company gift.
Thank you, Rick. Well, I've observed one thing. I always thought Albert was far too young to retire. But terrific guys have terrific families, and I'm quite amazed at how mature his family looks. He must have started about 11 or 12. Maybe they do that in Manitoba. You know? Right. A couple of things I want to say before I present this gift to you, and tell you how much we've appreciated you, Albert. If Rick will allow me to continue here.
Sorry.
Gordy Stoutenberg, who really told us a few goodies here a moment ago about you, Albert, also, since his retirement, and this is just to protect you in case you take up his challenge to go to the Sunset Ranch and learn some golf. He is winning more money off more people. As a matter of fact, I played with him yesterday, and he beat me solid, I tell you. He's really hitting that ball.
See, can I say something here? Gord, did you mean, what ranch did you say, Sunset? I thought you said Mustang.
I sold a Mustang last week.
Yeah, he's a real goodie, that guy. And also Dave Carson mentioned your ball playing, and he said something I thought a little bit unkind. I've played slow pitch too, and I've always found that Albert's team was super, and it wasn't Dave that we worried about, it was Albert getting that ball, catching. Terrific. I really think we should see Albert out on the slow pitch team next year. Are you going to be there, Albert? You're here. You know, one of the exciting things I find about this guy is that he really has had about 42 years in the telephone industry. I don't know if you know, he came from a little place in Manitoba and actually worked for Manitoba Tel for 15 years. Was that right, Al? And 27 years with BC Tel, so that's a long history and something that really is to be proud of. And I know we're very, very proud of Albert. We're sorry to see him go, and I want to express, I think, what all of you folks are thinking tonight. It's kind of sad when you see somebody leaving the family, leaving a company that really tries to give the very best of service to our customers, and yet there's a real happiness too when you can see a person earning it and going into something they really want to do. And I join with all the people here, Albert, in wishing you just a tremendous happy retirement, long and healthy and lots of fun, and don't take any side bets with Stoutenberg there until you really hit that ball. Anyway, on behalf of the company for all those years, and by the way, they've all been in Kelowna, and that's kind of a record too. How many people have had 27 years right here in good old Kelowna, eh?
That's right.
Terrific. Anyway, on behalf of the company, we're going to present you with actually two gifts here. And once again, all the best for you, and goodwill to your family as well in your retirement, Al. It's just been a real pleasure having you and getting to know you, and all the best in the future.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much.
I'll hold this.
Two guitar strings out.
Oh, really? That's a big harmonica.
Ooh, a tripod.
Hey, all right. Keep your heart up, Ron. Keep your heart up.
Albert, I thought it was an okay set.
Where do I start? Who wrapped this? Which one you open this? So what?
Green side up.
Green side up. Eddie, where's your jackknife?
Oh, turn it up, turn it up, turn it up.
Whoa! It's red. Wow. Look at that. That'll just fit in the trunk of my Metropole. Thank you very much.
everything.
I'm gonna probably have to do something.
Well, you probably give it to me and get me.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Get a set of wrenches, you gotta know which end to hang on.
BC Tel should have given me one of these 8 years ago. I could have carried more tools around.
Why?
Thanks, Don, and thanks, Al. Next up, to present the gift on behalf of Albert's friends, you people out there, and his family, please welcome Ed Rempel. Ed?
I think Albert and I were quite a team, Mutt and Jeff size-wise. I got to know him in 84, 83 when he came into the NFA department, and I just moved here to Kelowna. And he and I did a lot of road work together too in the last few years. In fact, Tuesday was our last trip to Grand Forks. We drove together. And I've always appreciated what Albert's attitude to work, his willingness to help and jump in wherever somebody needed help. And he kept a person feeling good by his singing. And usually we'd get in the car and be on the road again. But one little song he'd sing quite a bit, and it comes probably from his German background, and I understand German. And the other day, just one little phrase came out, something about "Macht das Leben so schön." The life is just great, you know. And I knew he was going to retire. I think he was singing that. And life will be great for you, Albert. Your attitude has been fantastic. And a real good friend. I really appreciate the fun we've had together, the work we've done. I've learned a lot from you too. On behalf of the friends and family, we'd like to present you with a gift. Albert, would you come up here? You'd like to be on the road again, so we brought you a two-wheeler.
Where's the pickup to take the thing home in? This is great.
18-speed mountain bike rally.
Is it automatic? I love it. Oh, you guys done
It's a big horn, no help.
Beautiful. Fantastic.
The other thing that we thought you might like to have is something you've talked about a lot, and something that you can't really, you can't really use when you're on your bike. But Albert, we'll be able to be in contact with you with this gift here.
Can I open it now?
Please do. Please open it.
Love that bike. They say you never forget. I haven't ridden one of those for about 200 years, I think. Look at them numbing tires.
I like them tires.
All right.
It's an answering machine, so we can keep in contact with him.
Okay.
Telephone answering machine. And some little bit of cash here for any options you want to put on your video camera that you've got, or your bike, or your Metropolitan that you want to restore. Here's some cash for you. It's almost $300. Albert, I love you.
That's a keeper, Vern.
Al, you should open that card too, you know, before you sit down. No, before you sit down.
Here, I'll hold the cash for you, Dad. Whoa. All right. Thank you very much.
Oh, wow.
Great.
Thanks, Ed, and happy trails, Al, if that's what you say. One other person has expressed an interest to get up and say something to Albert. And this person knows Albert nearly as well as his brother. This happens to be his son. Please welcome Jeff Boehler. Jeff?
This is the way he was getting ready. I thought you were talking about him. You're first. Me first. Yeah. This is just like Christmas. How easy do you think it'll be to pass myself off as option A? Catch. Oh, it's worth a try. There's a couple of things I heard people say out here. Personally, I abandoned ship about 14 years ago and headed to Alberta, where I've been ever since. And one gentleman up here was discussing how, well, you know how Dad is when he starts talking politics. Cool, calm, collected. You know, never raises his voice or nothing like that. Well, I don't know if you people heard, but out in Alberta, we had a very strong opinion about the Meech Lake Accord as well. And especially in Edmonton, where I suppose the movement started. But people didn't like the Meech Lake Accord, and the reason was they thought the Honda Civic looked much better. How many of you were around the other day when Dad got his final physical? You know what happened there? Well, he was telling me, actually the one he got prior to that, he went in for the complete medical thing. So he went in and they poked and prodded and checked, and blood here, needles, shots, the whole 9 yards. So finally this thing was over, except for the rectal exam. So the doc says, okay, next room, put the little robe on, hop up on the table, I'll be in a minute. So in he goes, sits down, puts the little gown on. You know how you're sitting there waiting for the doctor to come in and you're looking at everything in the office? Well, there on the table beside you, there's a pair of gloves, the little jar of Vaseline, and a beer in a glass. Well, he looks at this and he says, the gloves, okay, I can understand the gloves. And yeah, I can understand that too. The beer in the glass, now that's new. I've never seen that one before. And he figured, well, maybe this is to calm my nerves. You know, this is a pretty traumatic experience. So the doc comes in, hi, Mr. Boehler, how are you? Looking around, checking it out, this, that, the other thing, and he looks over, there's the gloves, there's the Vaseline. What the hell is this? He runs over and opens the door, and he says, nurse, I wanted a butt light. Mackenzie fan. Retirement is usually the first day you start working. You can't wait until that final day rolls around, and then when it comes, you look out. Some of you people I know, most of you I don't, but just even sitting up here and looking at it, you know, it almost get the feeling that he wonders, is this the right thing to do? Well, of course it is, but you always have second thoughts. Rick, thank you so much for the invite. It's been a wonderful party. Dad, best of luck. Go. See you sometime. Congratulations.
We have one more person that has expressed an interest to speak to Albert. And would you please welcome Lisa Stepanek? Lisa? Come on, welcome Lisa.
Hi, I'm here on behalf of my father, Alan McGregor. And Alan, Uncle Albert Albert. They go back a long way. They moved out from Winnipeg in 1964. And I don't know how long they knew each other before that. I wasn't born, but... It's really neat to see how everybody's matured, I guess. As a kid growing up, we always got together and stuff, and a couple things I remember about Uncle Albert was he always wore this belt with this really huge belt buckle. And I remembered cowboy boots. He always had these really nice shiny cowboy boots. And I see he's still wearing them, and I wonder if they're the same ones.
Never tell, Albert, never tell.
My dad couldn't be here tonight, but I was talking to him the other night, and he really wishes you all the best. And he wondered, he came out here first, and you beat him in retiring. All the best. Thank you.
Thank you, Lisa. We have a final treat for you. And if you'll direct your eyes to center stage, you will see, Brent Boehler, of course, Al's son. When I called Brent and told him that the party was going to be, I asked him if he wouldn't mind, if he had time, composing a little song for his dad. You'll see in a moment, Brent is quite an accomplished musician, and he's worked up this little ditty for his dad. And if you're ready, he's ready.
It's a good thing he got that toolbox, or he wouldn't be able to do it.
Before he starts to play, don't forget I taught him everything he knows.
Everybody having a good time tonight? Yeah. You hear me okay? The first thing I'd like to say is that I just came back from the barber, and I asked for a haircut just like my dad, the one with the hole in the top, you know? So he gave it to me. Anyways, I'm sorry to say that my wife and my two sons, Matthew and Daniel, couldn't make it tonight, and my younger brother, Bruce, who's playing music out in the road somewhere up north there. Anyway, here's a little song about retiring. It's for my dad, and after I do this, I still love you, Dad, you know, so you have to hear it. So you're retiring, I heard that before, but I see it's real. You walked out the door. You don't have to work there anymore. You worked hard your life, you kept busy as hell, but I got something I'd like to tell you about retirement. Well, it's a bore. You have all the time that you're ever gonna need with living so damn free, financial matters, no worry. So your time is your own, but that's something new. There's something in this poem I'd like to tell you how it's gonna be. Wake up in the morning with nothing to do. Wash your face and shine your shoes. Drink a pot of coffee, read the morning news. Pick up your guitar, sing a couple of tunes, then mope around the house. You got nothing to do. Lord, I got 'em, oh, them retirement blues. Oh, Lord, I got 'em, those retirement blues. I'm so damn bored, I got nothing to do. Yeah, Lord, I got 'em, oh, those retirement blues. I'm so damn bored, I got nothing to do. Anybody retired here? Does that sound familiar? Jump into the car, no destination plan, drive until you covered every inch of this land. Wonder to yourself, have I been there before? Well, sure you have. It was a while back, but this time on the road makes you lose track. You find that all this driving becomes such a bore. So you go back home and wash the dirt off your car. Boy, you didn't go this time very far. Blues settle in, you're starting to lose it. You wander downtown and you start to roam. Ain't nobody going to tell you to be home, or you might as well find yourself a woman just so you can be in shit. So you're home again. evening, it's time to eat. You gotta go downtown, you gotta buy some meat. Everything's happening the same old way. Light out the stove, cook up some stew, plan a big evening watching the tube. Hey man, don't work, tomorrow's another day. Another day with nothing to do. Is it Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday? I don't know, I'm so confused. Lord, I got them, them retirement blues. Oh Lord, I got them, oh those retirement blues. I'm so damn bored, I got nothing to do. Yeah, Lord, I got them, oh those retirement blues. I'm so damn bored, I got nothing to do. Well, you find out it's a good old life, but once you've done everything twice, it's time you're paying them retirement dues. Well, now it comes time to end this song, and I'll tell you, I hope I am wrong. I know you can beat them retirement blues. Yeah, Lord, I got them, those retirement blues. I'm so damn bored, I got nothing to do. Oh, Lord, I got them, oh, those retirement blues. I'm so damn bored, I got nothing to do. I'm so damn bored, I got nothing to do. There you go, Elmer. Thank you.
All right. Told you, taught him everything you know. Maybe I even wrote this song. I better check these words out. Thank you, Brent.
Well done, Brent. I think that deserves another round of applause.
These sales will be happening soon if anybody wants a copy.
Small fee. If you'll allow me at this time, I'd like to make some serious personal comments about Albert. A lot of them, probably most of them, you'll agree with. I've known Albert for a lot of years. We've been good friends for a lot of years. And the good Lord will and Al will be friends for a lot more years. Anyone that has worked with Albert knows that he has a unique approach, certainly to anything he does, which up until today included work. Albert is dedicated. He always is ready to work. He approaches each day with vigor, and each day really is a challenge for Albert. Probably a lot of us could take a page out of Albert's book. But when he was working with BC Tel, Albert always had a smile on his face. He was always happy. And ask Albert to do anything, and you could be sure that it would get done. Well, Albert, retirement is just another job, as far as I'm concerned. You finished your job with BC Tel. Retirement now is a job that requires the same kind of dedication for you that you give to your job at BC Tel. And we here that know you, know that you can apply yourself, know that you will enjoy your retirement, and know that you will do very well at it. And it wasn't that long ago, if we think back, that when a person was retiring, be it a man or a woman, they felt themselves, as well as society did, that their usefulness was outlived. They were no longer required. They failed to fill their niche in society. Thank goodness, attitudes and people change. Because nowadays, people look forward to retirement. And people that have worked hard, like Albert, and deserve a good retirement, can look forward to it. So Al, I say to you, and certainly your friends and your family here will join me in saying, have a very, very good retirement. Approach your retirement with the same attitude that you did your work. We know you'll be very successful at it, just like you were during your employment with BC Tel. You've worked hard, you've deserved it, Al. So all of us here, to you, say, think of retirement as the beginning of something. It's not the end of anything, Al. And we know that we're sending our best man out there to do a good job. So you have yourself one hell of a retirement. Okay, buddy, we'll see you.
Everybody, I really appreciate it. I really haven't got a heck of a lot to say. I think it's all been said, and really very well.
Albert, did you bring your guitar?
Who, me?
Yes.
Come on, I don't play. I taught him everything I know. I forgot.
He usually carries it in his...
Anyways, I really appreciate it. I appreciate the effort these people have put in to put this thing together. I appreciate seeing each and every one of you. I love you all. I've had a great time working for BC Tel, Manitoba Tel. It's been a good job. I'm leaving it with a lot of regret because I'm going to miss the people, I'm going to miss work, but there's got to be a change sometime in life, and this is it for me. And it really makes me feel good to see all you guys out there. Really appreciate you coming. Looking good. And I'll come to every retirement party there is after this. I've been to a few before.
Can I say?
Anyways.
You gotta buy a ticket for the next one.
Yeah, that's true, I do. Well, I think I can manage it. Anyways, what can I say on behalf of myself and my family? I appreciate seeing them all here. I won't go there through the names because you've met them all. You can talk to them all later. They're all nice guys like me. Anyways, what can I say? Have a good time. It's been great seeing you here, and I will never forget any one of you, and I will be back at work. I'm going to go to the fitness center after then. Got to keep in shape, you know, if I'm going to play ball next year. I want to hit a few home runs, Dave Carson. And I'll wear my Coors shirt and drink Miller Lite. And look for the guy that shot my paw. One little story. This guy's a traveling salesman. He's all over the world. So he's working in the Middle East, and he doesn't get home too often. So out in the Middle East, he sees this beautiful parrot. Nice colors, beautiful size, everything. Paid $4,700 for this parrot. He thought if he'd sent the parrot home to his mother to keep him company while he's on the road. Buys the parrot, he sends it home. 6 months later, this guy gets to get back to his hometown. He goes home, and of course, the first thing he's going to do, he's going to go and see his mother. He knocks on the door. First thing he says to her, he says, "Mother," he says, "how's the parrot?" She said, "It was delicious." He says, "How could you eat that parrot? It cost me $4,700. He says, "How could you eat it?" She said, "With some boiled potatoes and some broccoli." He says, "Mother," he says, "how could you eat that parrot? That parrot cost me $4,700. It spoke 7 languages. She said, "Well, why didn't he say something?" That's it, guys. Have a good time. You're looking good. Thanks, Rick. Special thanks to these guys, Rick, and all of the people in it to put this thing together. I love you.
No, Brent?
Yes, Brent.
Oh, come on, Brent.
All that I wanted to say was I never really knew what Albert did at work, and from all these comments I think I found out. And with this big bash that's going on now, I know every time I open my BC Tel phone bill, I know why.
Ladies and gentlemen, that concludes our little ceremony for this evening. I'd like to thank you all for coming. Certainly Bob is going to crank up the music. Albert said if you all stayed for the dance, he would buy drinks all night for everybody. What do you think about that? Get him a pen, right. So again, thank you for coming. Please stay for the dance. We'll do some table clearing and get some dance space in operation here. And I know Albert appreciates you all being here. It's good to see you all. And let's have a good time tonight and a safe time. Thank you, everybody.